Good morning or good afternoon, depending on which region you are from. Um, Welcome. On behalf of HVAC Excellence, the Best Center, and our guest presenters, I would like to welcome you to today's webinar. My name is Renee Tomlinson, representing HVAC Excellence, an industry organization dedicated to improving the HVACR industry through education, validation of skills, and professional development. We are proud to partner with the Best Center, who has a similar mission to promote better building performance through the advancement of building science and technician education. Before we get started, we wanted to inform you of our webinar format. We want to be respectful of everyone's time, so we will end our presentation on the hour. All attendees will be muted throughout the presentation. You may submit questions through the question tool on your control panel or by sending a message through the chat feature. If time allows, we will answer as many questions as possible at the end of the presentation. If we are unable to get to your question, we will follow up with you by email. This webinar will be recorded, and the recording will be made available on the Best Center website. We have the website listed here on the screen. And just to go over today's agenda with you, we will hear an introduction and overview of the Best Center from Pam Wallace. Next, we will hear from Beth Hall, the Vice President of Education Content for the PHCC Education Foundation, on attracting women and Gen Z to the building trades. Next, we'll hear a technician's perspective from Telese Williams, a skilled trades technician from Georgia State University. Presentation will then be handed over to Dr. Deb Hall, Program Chair for Energy Management and Controls Technology from Valencia College. Last but certainly not least, we'll hear from Samantha Lot, a great student story. She's a mechanical electrical technology student at the Sacramento City College. Again, if there's time at the end of our presentation, we'll answer any questions that you may have. And that will be facilitated by Larry Chang, the Best Center Manager. And with that, I will be handing the presentation over to Pam Wallace.
Thank you, Renee. And thank you all for joining us on this webinar. I hope you'll find this information very useful, and you'll find, I know, plenty of resources as we go through the presentations that I think will be helpful to you in the future. And I'd also like to thank Renee and HVAC Excellence for allowing us to use this platform and helping to facilitate this webinar. And I'd also like to acknowledge Larry Chang, our Best Center Manager, for being the catalyst in putting this forum together with the presenters. So the Best Center stands for Building Efficiency for a Sustainable Tomorrow. We are a national center that's funded by the National Science Foundation to support building technician education. And we're located at Laney College in Oakland, California. So please take a look at our website at bestctr.org, and you'll find a ton of great resources for faculty and students. We have curriculum that can be downloaded. There's a job board for students that are interested in pursuing positions in this field, and events that are coming up. So a lot of that resources on our website. The mission of the Best Center is to prepare technicians to manage building systems and energy use by, one, spurring a national forum on the role of building technicians in energy efficiency, and advocating for advanced technical education and high-performance building operations, and then thirdly, facilitating the dissemination and adoption of exceptional curricula and technical programs in sustainable building performance. And so an example of that that we have in place right now, we're doing a 2-day training as we speak on high-performance building operations. And we're training, this is the train-the-trainer session, actually teaching some of the faculty to go out and deliver this curriculum, because we're doing a session in summer, and fall for the State of California Department of General Services Facilities Management Division. So we're training those folks to manage the state-run buildings in a way that's going to be optimizing the building performance. So that's a part of what we do, and our goals are to expand the capacity of community colleges to provide building systems technician education. So basically the HVAC and building automation control programs that are in about 60 community colleges that we're working with throughout the U.S. We also have a goal to engage industry stakeholders in a national collaboration with the community colleges. We've arranged, for example, for the colleges to receive equipment and software discounts to help equip their teaching labs. So that's just an example of one of the things we do to engage industry stakeholders in supporting this type of education within the community and technical colleges. And then last, strengthening the STEM pathway for building science professionals and technicians to include high school STEM education and career awareness programs. So those are our goals, and if you go to the next slide, when we talk about STEM education and building career awareness, on the next slide you'll see the videos that we have done, some career videos to help increase awareness of this profession, because it's one of those professions that actually often goes unnoticed. People are working behind the scenes to make these buildings operate efficiently, and often the end user is really just thinking about it in terms of their own personal comfort when they're in a building. So if you take a look at our website at bestctr.org, there's 2 videos, a long one and a short one, Building a Better Tomorrow, and those can be used to share in forums where you have an opportunity to talk to young people and give them a picture in the day in the life of folks who go into this profession. So it profiles a building automation controls technician or stationary engineer, HVAC installation or service technician. Those are some of the career pathways that are available in this profession, along with many more. So if you have a chance to take a look at those videos, I think for those of you who are in education, you may have a chance to use that as a recruitment tool as well. So with that said, I will introduce our next presenter, who is Mary Beth Hall, and she's the Vice President for Education Content at PHCC, and she's going to talk to you about attracting women and Generation Z to the building trades. Mary Beth?
Thank you, Pam. Recently, I've been looking at the workforce from the perspective of both how we recruit women and how we recruit Generation Z. What I've discovered is that as a whole, women and minorities other than Latino are significantly underrepresented in the construction trades. And where women are best represented is in the area of construction management, helpers, which we often consider in my world as pre-apprentices, and inspectors. Clearly, we all understand who women are, but let's take a minute to understand a little bit more about who this Generation Z is. Generation Z is the post-millennial generation, or those born since 1995. This generation makes up nearly 1/3 of the U.S. population now, and approximately half of them are also women. This generation of digital natives is great with technology. They know how to collaborate. Teamwork is a definite strength. They value flexibility, but they also want stability and a consistent paycheck. And they also value training and development. Their weaknesses are in interpersonal skills, and they have a shortfall in highly cognitive social skills, including problem solving, critical thinking, and communication. Much of this results from their digital native background, and it's not their fault. We're the ones who gave them the digital devices. Research on Generation Z shows that this group wants to know their employer cares about their success, and they want to work for employers that give back to the community. They want to know every single perk they can receive on the job ahead of time, so we need to tell them. How many of you know about that saying, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results? My generation, which is X, and the one before it, we're insane. We want to keep doing the same things we've always done repeatedly. And guess what? It's still not working. Yet we keep doing it. Times have changed, but we have not. So how do we stop this insanity and attract Generation Z and, of course, more women with it? In our industry, we use the term helper as the job level before we enter someone into an apprenticeship. Do you want to be a helper? I don't. If I'm on the outside looking in, meaning I'm not related to someone in the construction industry and I don't know the terminology, how do I even know what job to look for if I want to find one? Why not call it a paid internship? Isn't it really the same thing? And Generation Z knows what a paid internship is. Let's capitalize on Generation Z's strengths in job ads. I can't tell you how many ads I've read that say things like, must be able to take direction. We all understand that there's some level of that in the workplace. But isn't there also a lot of collaboration on a job site? And isn't that what this generation's really good at? Why not advertise for team players? Don't we need those? And while we're at it, let's be sure to promote the here and now. In an ad, don't talk about the company's history. Talk about what you do now and what your future looks like. As I mentioned before, Generation Z is all about the benefits. So let's put those in the job ads. No perk is too small. Let's list them all. And as always, show your prospects the possible career path. This is so important to Generation Z and to most prospects. Finally, understand that if you're going to hire a Generation Z worker, male or female, you will have to train for those highly cognitive social skills, otherwise known as soft skills. And one last set of thoughts as I wrap up. A lot of effort goes into diversifying the applicant pool for the construction trades. So much focus over the last 15 years has been on middle and high schools. And while this remains an important audience, there are two other places we can all focus to find highly qualified candidates, many of whom will be women. First is the military. If you have a base nearby, reach out to the transition office on base. Discharged military personnel are excellent candidates for our industry because many have worked with their hands and tools already, and they have great skills. Another potential candidate pool is recent community college graduates, many of whom are underemployed but do not wish to pursue a 4-year degree. Work with your local community college to see if you can obtain alumni lists. And that's all I have for you today, and I would love to hand off at this point to Telese Williams for the technician's perspective.
Hello, everyone. I'm Telese Williams. I'm presently working at Georgia State University as a skilled trades worker. I was motivated to join the trades because of a program called New Choices for Women, or Non-Traditional Jobs for Women. After I graduated from the program in 1997, I went to work as a brick mason. Then from there, I went to work for Winners Construction Company. I actually liked construction, but I got tired of the long hours and layoffs. I went to work for Georgia Perimeter College, which is now Georgia State University, in 2005. I started out as a maintenance technician too, then I got promoted to the skilled trades department. My family and current supervisor and manager are all mentors to me. They don't see me as just a woman, they see me as a person who could bring something to their team. Just to name a few of my certificates, I have my building operator's certificate, I have several HVAC related certificates, and I've also obtained an electrical certificate. Yes, I am the only woman right now working as a skilled trade worker. And I do see myself as someone who can help recruit more women in the trade through teaching or just being a mentor. The most thing I like about my job is learning new things every day. My favorite area of skills is electrical and HVAC. I wish more women would consider such a career path because at the end of the day, you feel good as a woman knowing that you made a difference somewhere during your day. It's not always easy, but it's well worth choosing this career path. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Telese. What a great story. Thank you for sharing with us. And with that, we're going to go ahead and turn the presentation over to Dr. Deb Hall, who is going to speak with us on recruiting women into technical programs.
Welcome to our webinar. So I'm Dr. Hall. I'm from Valencia College in sunny Orlando, Florida. I'm a professor as well as program chair under our Division of Engineering, Computer Programming, and Technology. And the two programs that I currently chair are Electronic Engineering Technology and our brand new Energy Management and Controls Technology AS degree, which will be launched this fall of 2018. Graduates of our two-year Energy Management and Controls Technology degree could become building automation systems controls technicians who will help to make our world's buildings more energy efficient. Very exciting. So first, I'd like you to just consider this old advertisement and what might you first think of when you look at it. Perhaps you see two women, maybe they've never had AC in their home before, and so they are admiring this magic box that is making their environment so comfortable. Or maybe they are thinking this. So just a different perspective, and I think this quote highlights that. So if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Dr. Stephen Covey, who's the author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, would definitely agree with Wayne Dyer, as he also emphasized that if we want to change a situation, we first have to change ourselves. And to change ourselves effectively, we have to change our perceptions. That is, the lens through which we see the world. So one way to change the current prescription on these lenses as we look out on how to bring more women into the technical industry is to highlight just what amazing things women do bring to the table. First off, they provide a better work environment for solving disputes. They provide improvements in productivity and innovation. They provide stronger team dynamics that are more united and ready for optimal decision making. So the overall message to communicate is that diversity is key to effective organizations of the future. So what I'm about to share now are a few best practices that have been implemented by colleges around the nation. And one best practice is to create a Women in Technology program and to appoint a full-time program director. And there's a list of some institutions around the nation who have implemented this best practice, and as a result have actually shown a higher rate of female students come into their program. Another best practice is to hire additional female technology faculty members. They most definitely will be a great source of inspiration and mentoring for your female technology students. You could also create a Women in Technology program advisory board. So this would be comprised of local area female technicians. And the idea is you would invite these females to also be guest speakers within your courses. Another best practice is to encourage your college to form a partnership with local female professional networking organizations. And there's a few suggestions here on this slide. So there's Women in ASHRAE, Women in HVAC-R, Society of Women Engineers, Women in Energy, or other similar female professional networking organizations. So the idea is to get out there, investigate what you have within your local community, and form partnerships. Another best practice is to encourage your own faculty members, that would be guys as well as girls, to attend Women in Technology related events. And the image that you see below is actually from a Women in HVAC conference that I attended last fall. And when you take a look, you're not just going to see in that photo images of females, there's actually males that attended as well. And so just a win-win, very insightful for all participants, very inspirational. You basically leave energized with many ideas of how you could, bring methods of increasing female participation into your programs. Also, there's conferences that you could attend at ASHRAE, where you could have basically it's called the Women in ASHRAE meetings that you could attend, or at the AHR Expo. So just a variety of different options for you. Another best practice would be that you could create student clubs that are related to some of these professional networking organizations. And that's going to be very powerful, because then what you're going to do is actually you can bring in local area members from these different groups to come in and speak to your courses, right, into your different classes. You could have industry tours where you could actually go out, take your students, and the networking opportunities are endless, and it's just a great opportunity to just get your students excited about what they're studying and what future career they could have. Another best practice is to form a partnership between the college and online mentoring programs, and this is an example of one. There's actually a lot of different ones out there, but MentorNet is one. Just a great way to, again, you're making that connection. You're basically bridging the gap between the student who's, in your labs, in your classrooms studying, and then actually with someone who's working in the field. The mentoring is just incredible. In this case, very easy in that it is an online experience. And free is always a good thing too. So that's definitely an attraction. All right, another best practice is to implement a peer coaching program. So in this case, rather than the mentoring occurring with the student and then someone out in the industry, you could have a peer-to-peer program where your first-year student would be mentored by 2 second-year female technology students. And so, again, a powerful way to build that support within your program, to help increase retention, to help the student from the get-go. First year, they feel connected. They feel like they're actually a part of a team. So again, a great best practice to implement within your college. Another idea is to weave throughout your introductory courses various student success related topics. And some examples of topics that you could bring into your introductory courses could be time management. You talk about teamwork and team building activities, communication skills, organization skills, effective student strategies. You could also bring assessments into the classroom and basically have your students better understand what their own natural strengths are, so then they can work with that and take that to a higher level, right? By better understanding how they're naturally wired, that can help them in their classroom, that can help them in their career. Another best practice is to offer more sections of the same technology courses. So the idea is a variety, online, at night, on different campuses of the college. This has definitely been a very effective best practice in order to increase that retention with your students and to attract more of your female students, because if they've got families, work, all this stuff going on, you're giving them options. So that way they stay in your program and they get that degree under their belt. Another best practice is to modify your department's webpage to promote women in technology. So you can provide on your actual webpage where students would go to find out information about your curriculum. They also could find out information about networking opportunities or internships that are coming up, scholarship opportunities that maybe could help them with either tuition or perhaps some certification exam. And also tutoring sessions, very important information to put on your webpage. So that way, students who maybe are considering your program, they'll take a look at that webpage and be like, wow, this college is really in support of their students. And then of course, for the students in your program, it's a win-win, right? These are all ways to keep them engaged, help them to be successful, keep them in your program, right? Increase your graduation rate. So it's a win-win for everybody. Another best practice is to include images of female technicians and technology students on your college's marketing-related materials. So this would include program brochures, banners, trifolds, posters, your program webpage, you know, whatever you're going to put out in the public, you want to make sure that you have females on that literature. A picture truly is worth 1,000 words. And the image you see here is an example of Valencia College's program brochure for our brand new Energy Management and Controls Technology degree. So we're definitely trying to walk the talk as well. So another best practice is to participate annually in various K-12 outreach programs. Many colleges who've implemented this within their program see higher rates of females entering their program. And so just some examples of ideas. You could do a teach-in. This is something that we do here in the state of Florida, where K-12 teachers, pretty much they open their classroom to anyone to walk in and talk about anything in their particular career. So I've definitely utilized that opportunity to share about our Energy Management Controls Technology degree. I've gone in there with hands-on activities like what you see in the image below. So refrigeration cycle hands-on activity that we did with 5th graders. And right now, we're basically, when you see the balls in the air, we are high pressure gas. And then when you see the kids towards the left of the image kind of hunching down, those are low pressure liquid. So we've got the whole refrigeration cycle going on that we're actually modeling or acting out. The kids love it. And they leave with our brochures that have all those female images all over it. And I tell the kids to take those brochures home, show your parents, tell them that in 2 years they could bag a degree that could change the world. And other examples, the Boys and Girls Club, we've done some hands-on activities there. There's a National Engineers Week, a great way to get in there and introduce a girl to engineering. Expanding Your Horizons, another great program where you could do some outreach. The Girl Scouts, don't forget that group. That's an amazing group, and they have actually a Girl Scout Engineering Saturday program that your school could, your college could participate in. SWE Discover, so that's the Society of Women Engineers. They have a Discover program. Or a parent, 5th grade daughter tea, and tea, not just tea that you sip out of a little china cup, but actually technology engineering aptitude workshop. So we really worked that acronym. We brought in the parents. We had a hands-on activities throughout the day, and at the end, we finished with a Q&A guest speaker panel where we brought in females from the industry to field questions by both the 5th graders as well as their parents. Let me tell you, that was life-changing. Those parents, their eyes were open. They realized, wow, this is an amazing career that could be for my daughter. So that's an idea. You know, don't forget about the parents. The parents speak volumes into those girls' lives and the direction that they choose their career path. So don't forget about them. It's an important thing to do. And this workshop was one idea that seemed to be very effective. So something to think about. Also, you could hold technology-related summer camps. So the idea here is this is if you were implementing activities that maybe are long-term, so they maybe take more than just half a day or an hour. So summer camps would be an idea, right? You could actually conduct your camps right there at your college if you want. So just some examples you see down below. There's some are basically little 4th graders and 5th graders were building solar suitcases. And so this was definitely a project that took more than one day. So just ideas like this, projects where, they'd get their hands on and, you're building concepts. And by the end of that summer camp, they are definitely interested in pursuing a career in technology. So concepts to emphasize when doing a K-12 outreach. So first off, I'd like you to just pretend that you are a 5th grade girl in a classroom. And so the idea here is we're going to present concepts to you that will get your attention, lots of images, color. So first off, one big message to your K through 12 outreach folks is that you'll have the power to make a difference. So let those students know that their career will make a difference in this world. All right, another concept to emphasize is that they'll be working with talented people. Technology is most definitely a team effort. You want to emphasize that there's no lone rangers in the world of technology, that these girls will be working with other amazing people, and so, communication is key. Another concept to emphasize when you're doing your K through 12 outreach is that you will always have money and job security, because society will always need technicians. And that's just a really important seed to plant, is that security, the idea that, one day if you have a family, friends, this is going to be something that, you'll be able to have a great career, because society will always need you, right? Need your input. Another concept to emphasize while doing your K through 12 outreach is that those students, right, to let them know they're going to have lots of opportunities to work everywhere, because technicians are needed everywhere. So if they like to travel, if there's a different place they'd like to work or a different environment, let them know that becoming a technician is definitely the way to go, right? They'll have lots of options. And last but not least, you want to make sure you emphasize this, that they'll get to do cool stuff, right? Be the first to try out a new technology. Technicians are involved in making all the wonders of the future a reality today. And image down below is actually what we use when we talk about energy management and controls technology. So the idea of building automation systems, so making buildings energy efficient, and all of the neat state-of-the-art technology that is involved in that, and how it's changing every day. So it's just an exciting opportunity for them. You just want to plant those seeds, lots of color, and somehow weave these concepts within your presentations. And then there's this amazing global initiative that I want to let you know about. This would be an example of something that you could implement right now to inspire a female to pursue a career in the HVAC-R-related industry. So Ozone Action and United Nations are seeking short stories about women working in refrigeration and air conditioning. And so the idea is you want to make sure by July 31st, you submit your entry form. And I just think that this is it would be an incredible opportunity, not just to motivate females within the United States, but around the world. So what a great opportunity. If you happen to know of someone that you're like, wow, they have a great story to share, they'd be very inspirational for someone who's maybe considering this field, definitely share this link, pass this along to them. And with that, now it is my honor to introduce Samantha Lott, who will give you a snapshot of what it's like to be a student in a technical related degree program.
Thank you. I'm Samantha Lot. I'm currently a student at Sacramento City College in the Mechanical Electrical Technology program. Being in an industry run by men can be a little intimidating to some, but there are those of us who believe that you can only achieve what you limit yourself to. Luckily, from a young age, I was taught by my hero, my grandfather, that it doesn't matter that I'm a girl, and to never depend on anyone to learn to do it myself. This launched me into a world of play and discovery, not only with Barbies and princess clothes, which of course I still love. I love being a girl. But it also taught me that G.I. Joes and dirt were fun too. I lost my grandpa at a young age, but the idea never stopped. As I grew older, I found myself more and more interested in doing things such as auto mechanics and light construction, fixing my own cars, helping friends and others with home repairs and builds. I was good at it, and it came naturally to me, but I never thought of making it a career. Over the years, I went to school for different things, such as beauty school and nursing, and though I enjoy having those skills today, I never fit into those roles. It just didn't feel like where I belonged. So I just kept on my journey growing up, working different jobs, trying to raise my kids, and just feeling lost. So I got kind of lucky and ended up working for a company where my stepdad worked as chief engineer. And I would go into the back after work and help him and watch him and talk to him about the different things and machines that he would fix and work on. And it was fun for me, but I never thought of making it a career for myself. But then he had suggested that I go to college and pursue the same path, because not only is the field very fun, but it also can make you enough money to sustain a livable environment. So he told me about the Mechanical Electrical Technology program at Sacramento City College, and I'm currently in my third semester working towards my associate degree. I work hands-on to learn skills that will get me started in the field. But beyond that, I actually enjoy my education, and for the first time, I feel like I belong there. The professors have helped me in more than just my education, mentoring me and guiding me in both personal and professional aspects, and become like a family for me. I love that place, and I'll never leave. I told them, you'll never get rid of me. I was invited recently to help with a program that the college hosts called Pathways to Paychecks, where high school students come to the college in hopes of pursuing careers in the field. And to learn more about it, we taught building small motors and how a motor works. And I loved teaching it and encouraging the kids. But my favorite part was the two girls that had come to the program. I got to talk to them and ask them why they wanted to come to the Pathways to Paychecks, as there were mostly boys there, and encourage them and kind of guide them on this is a way to go. This is something you can do, and don't be discouraged by the lack of other women around you. Not every girl is as lucky as me to be encouraged or educated at a young age. So it's inspired me to help reach out to more girls who want to be in this type of field. And some are either intimidated to start or just don't know how. Maybe they don't even know it's an option. I certainly didn't. I've actually taken suggestions from this webinar and professors, and I reached out to a first semester student recently in my program and offered my services and mentor her so that she felt more comfortable and didn't quit. And I'm just enjoying everything I'm learning, and I'm truly grateful that I found this field.
Thank you, Samantha. Hi, everyone. My name is Larry Chang. I'm one of the organizers of today's webinar. I'd like to invite all of you to submit your questions by typing them in. And I want to give you a heads up that at the conclusion of the webinar, we will have a brief, and I do mean very brief, 3-question survey. In fact, 2 of the questions require just simple yes/no answers. So please, when you see that, just take a minute to answer it. That kind of feedback is tremendously important and useful to us. And now, as we go into our Q&A session, I'd like to go ahead and offer this question to all of our panelists today. The first one is, are there any pre-apprenticeship programs for high school students available that we could plug into?
Not that I know of in my area.
Okay.
Not that I know of either in my area.
Deb, what about you?
The PHCC Educational Foundation has one that is an online program for plumbing and HVAC. We offer it through our online, it's called the PHCC Academy, and we charge $99 for it. It's about a 6-module course. There are probably some available at the local level for people who prefer an in-person training course if you kind of look around, but we do have one that's available online.
I know of a couple of different options for folks here in the Central Florida area. So Orange Technical College has an HVAC program where they also have a dual enrollment, and I've basically sat right in those, like the helper level course, and right next to some amazing high school students. So I know that that's definitely available through Orange Technical College. And then also just recently, I found out about another high school that is also teaching HVAC that's in the Central Florida area. So we're going to be reaching out to them and seeing if Valencia can establish a partnership. So that's pretty exciting.
Great, thank you so much. Samantha, here's a question for you. All right. First of all, how many women are in your program? And then the second part, what part of your program really appeals to you?
So there's 4 semesters and about 30 students per class, 4 nights to 5 nights a week. So probably about 300 students, give or take, and there are only 3 women in the program right now. There are no women teachers yet, and I think our director is a woman, though. And I'm sorry, our dean is a woman. I enjoy the most out of the program the electrical and the boilers. Learning about how to operate a boiler and how to do water chemical treatment is really exciting for me. There's a lot of hands-on, and we get to physically touch furnaces. Actually, last week, I just did a lab where I learned how to take temperature differences and find out the efficiency of a furnace by taking the temperature at the top and the bottom and finding out the BTUs and dividing it by what the BTUs, which is British thermal units, which is how they how heat is calculated in the HVACR field. And I was able to find out the efficiency of a furnace, which was really fun. Those are my pneumatics and PLCs, which is programmable logic controls, and it has to do with building automated systems that control things such as air conditioning, when boilers turn on and off, and that's really fun. It involves computers and thinking kind of on your toes on how to make a system work through a program, so I enjoy that very much as well.
Thank you. Telese, this question just came in. Can you tell us, in your day-to-day work, right? You mentioned that it's not easy, but it is rewarding. Can you tell us what's not easy about the career path and how you've managed to overcome those hurdles?
Yes, sir. That's directed towards me.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, the part that's not really easy is just obtaining all these certificates and trying to obtain all the information day by day. But me being me, and I'm a strong-willed person, so I overcome that just by knowing that if I just keep my eyes on the prize, it's going to be okay eventually. And that's how I see it.
And in your day-to-day work, right? I know part of what kind of drives you is knowing that you make a difference for others. Do you ever have much contact, say, with other people on campus, and you get to feedback, you receive feedback from them about how you're making a difference whenever you are able to address a problem that's affecting their work?
Yes, sir. I have a lot of communication with the people that's within our team, so I am on the phone constantly asking them questions and everything. And that's not just in electrical and HVAC. I want to know a little bit about everything, so I ask a lot of questions.
Thank you.
I know that Telese had mentioned, Larry, having a mentor was helpful in her being able to progress. And I think Samantha also talked a little bit about how she was able to mentor others in the organization. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that. And Samantha, maybe you can share your comments about how you're helping to mentor others that are in the program now.
Well, I noticed, I just started doing the mentoring, so I haven't seen a whole lot of return or feedback from it, but I am noticing that for whatever reason, females communicate easier. It's easier to talk to another female that's a stranger than maybe a female to a male, and they seemed to open up to me a lot more than they were opening up to other students or professors trying to reach out to them about maybe challenges they were having or feeling a little bit uncomfortable, because being a woman in a room surrounded by 30 men that are kind of privy to this field can be intimidating sometimes. So to reach out to them and be like, hey, I've been here and I'm here to help guide you through, I think was really significant in giving them at least a little bit more courage to stick with it and know that there is someone there that understands the things that us girls understand about each other, that men, they do try to understand that. I don't think that they don't, but I don't think all women know how to approach a man or have a conversation and feel like they understand where we're coming from and not want to feel scared or intimidated, or just be able to be alongside of them and not feel like, oh, I want to break down and cry right now because this is hard, and to be scared to say that to another person. So I think being able to open up, have the women open up to me and know that they can come to me in confidence if they need to or whatever, just be like, I'm having a hard time or this is scary for me, has been really nice for me, and I'm sure for them. And I hope to continue doing that because I think it'll bring more women into the field.
And I just want to add that when you attend those Women in HVAC conferences or Women in ASHRAE conferences, what you find is all of a sudden the coin is flipped and now you are in the majority, and that is so powerful. And then you expand your networking opportunities like immensely. So now you have quite a few folks that could mentor you. And so, sending faculty, sending students to these different like Women in HVAC conferences would be a wonderful thing, I think. It would just add to that whole encouragement and retention.
And I agree that a lot of things that I've learned from this webinar, I actually want to take into practice and reach out to some of those companies and learn about them for myself, and then try and like know that there are more women than you think, and there's more support out there for us to be able to feel comfortable and know we can do this.
Yeah, good point.
Here's a great question for the entire panel, and I do invite all of the panel to chime in on any of these questions. One of our attendees asked, how do you all deal with people that doubt your abilities just because you're a woman?
Now that's I haven't experienced that lately, but when I first started out, I experienced, when I was in construction, the little drawings and the men in the restrooms and just being disrespected. But I think as time went on, men are more receptive to us now. They're actually really trying to work with us because I think they realize we can make a difference. And I think they're giving us a chance.
Yeah, for me, I think that's why I'm trying so hard to be a mentor for other women, because it's not hard for me to be around men. I've been around men more than I've been around women. So it is a little easier for me, but I did feel the intimidation factor being surrounded by young men that were kind of doing their thing with each other, and I just had to kind of stand up and speak up for myself and just kind of meld in with them, and they figured it out. And I've been in a lot of classes with some of them that I've started, and we're actually, you know, friends now. And I think that's just getting past that, like, fear of the difference, or that they think we're not going to know how to do it, to have that confidence to go, no, I can do it too. And like Telese said, they kind of get over it, they figure it out, and they're being more open to the fact that women can do it too. And maybe it's kind of funny, I'm called Wendy at school because they call me the class mom, because I'm the one who's always like, hey, did you guys do your homework? Because most of us, you know, have full-time jobs and come to class and just exhausted. And I'm like, okay, guys, let's do homework. Hey, stay till the end of class. Just come on, just stay. I know you're tired. Don't leave yet. Like, let's get through this. And so they call me kind of the class mother. And I think they've learned to appreciate having a woman around because of the different dynamics that it brings, and the ability to kind of get a group together and work as a team. Just bringing a softer side to it, I guess.
Yes, ma'am, that's it.
Well, I've got to
About
think as
someone
well
else.
that the atmosphere is changing a little bit with respect to the, you know, the Time's Up movement and women kind of insisting on getting equal pay for equal work. And so I'm hoping that will help the climate as well in the workforce.
All right. Mary Beth Hall, how about this one for you, right? You know, we hear all sorts of comments about Generation Z, and I really love the quote that Deb Hall shared from Wayne, Dyer, that you know, the way we help create change is also being able to change the way we see things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, you know, that we are beginning to see more receptivity towards women in the trades, and certainly at the education level. You know, we want to open as many doors as we can. However, right, do women of Gen Z believe that they themselves have more career options?
Oh, I think absolutely they do. I don't think the women in Gen Z see that there are any obstacles really as much as my generation did, for sure. I don't think they see a lot of that. I don't think they see gender roles in the same way we did at all. They see everything as a wide open, and I love that. I think that's really wonderful, that they don't have to see the obstacles the same way. This generation's really great about that, and it's kind of refreshing to see. They definitely are much more open to kind of anything goes, and it's very refreshing.
Samantha and Telese, do you kind of you know, well, depending on course on your own generation, right? But do you kind of sense that, or you know, regarding the women that you know you have as part of your circles?
Yes, sir. And I can tell the difference too, because just like Ms. Hall just said, when I was coming up, you know, I saw gender. I saw women only did women stuff and men only did men stuff. But now it's not like that. And I noticed the younger people, the younger generation is already, you know, coming into the fields and trying to, you know, go to training and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely think there's been a change from, as I said, you know, I was taught differently, so it wasn't really anything I noticed until I was kind of able to notice that there was a difference. But I did notice, like, men that I knew were able to kind of just jump into a construction field because they were a man, as opposed to just anybody kind of applying, whereas now it seems like there's a lot more women being confident enough to get into those fields. And there are a lot more programs that educate children and younger people. I have a 13-year-old daughter who is going to San Luis Obispo for a program similar to STEM called EPIC to go learn about engineering programs in colleges, I think is what it stands for, to go learn about those things. And so I think just the change in times and the way we're able to open doors and have classes and present the information like, hey, this is a possibility, come on over. And just the confidence in women to be like, yeah, I'm going to go do this because I want to. I'm not going to play a role that society wants stigmatized women to have. And so I think we're coming out of that age of differences, of different roles, and everyone kind of starting to slowly mesh together.
Great. We want to leave time as well for the questionnaire, Larry. We're going to close out.
Yes, we will do that. How about we take just one more question? And certainly we'll follow up with the others that we don't get to today. Someone's asked for Samantha and Telese, do you belong to any women's professional groups? And have they helped you in terms of mentoring and networking?
No, I don't now, but I did. Well, the New Choices for Women, that was a mentoring, organization. But as of now, no, I am not.
I am currently not and have not been in the past, but like I've mentioned, because of this, the information I've received from this webinar, I'm actually going to reach out to some of those groups and maybe even, like I've tried to do, kind of start my own group because of the lack of a group for me that I knew about. I didn't know there was one. So now that I do, I would like to participate and maybe bring more to my area or whatever it is that, I haven't found yet, I guess.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very important kind of action plan, right? Sometimes if the network or the the support group isn't quite gelling, right? Sometimes you have to go out and you've got to make that happen. On that note, I would like to thank our audience for attending today. Big kudos to all of our presenters. They all put their hearts and souls into this. And big thanks to HVAC Excellence for all their tremendous support in helping us to expedite this event. It's been terrific. On that note, I do want to remind you there will be a very brief survey, 3 questions at the conclusion of this. And in the meantime, make it a great day and go out and make a difference. We'll see you on the web next time. Thank you.
Thank you.